for too long in case somebody. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for coming tonight. I'm calling this meeting to order. My name is Maritza Cermeño, and I'm the chair of the Latino Caucus of Fairfax. And since we meet online, we use a procedure called unanimous consent. After I call for a motion and a second to vote on an issue, I will call for unanimous consent rather than a vote. And if there are no objections, the motion will be accepted. And if there is an objection, I will call for discussion. Then we will vote. Let's start by approving the agenda. Do I hear a motion to accept the agenda as presented?
I so move.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Are there any objections?
Second.
Okay, hearing no objections, the agenda is approved. Let's next approve the meetings from the last meeting of July 31st. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes?
I so move.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second.
Are there objections to accepting the minutes? Hearing none, the minutes are approved. Now, I propose that we dispense with normal order and allow the chair to modify the agenda upon the accommodate invited guests and visitors. Do I hear a motion?
So I move.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any objections? Hearing none, we will dispense with normal order. So welcome everybody. Let's just have a couple of minutes just to introduce ourselves so we know who's visiting and who is joining us tonight. So I'm gonna be calling people to introduce. So let's start with Lionel. Lionel, can you please introduce yourself?
Thank you. My name is Leonel Rojas. I'm from Franconia. In Franconia, I am the co-lead of a data analysis team. Our task is to support essentially the operations, the precinct captains, and the outreach teams. Yesterday, we completed test banking to about 8,000 people in District 11. Franconia has 11 precincts that fall into the CD11. And this campaign was targeted to people who live in Franconia but belong to CD11. And essentially, this is a get out of the vote message because tomorrow, Franconia opens as a voting center for early voting for the special election.
Thank you so much, Lionel. Marta, can you introduce yourself?
Hi, this is Marta Calderon. I am the secretary of the Latino Caucus, and also I am part of the Franconia District Committee. Right now, I am the vice chair, and also I handle the social media. And right now, we are very busy with the early voting that starts this Friday. So, and we are also working with the back to school night that started was August 14th. And we will be working with back to school night until like to 21st of September. So we're very busy in Franconia.
Thank you so much, Marta. Gil, can you introduce yourself?
I'm Gil Davenport. I'm the driver for the chairman.
Thank you. Carla, please get the mic.
Hola a todos, feliz noche. Hi everyone, I'm Carla Bustillos, chair of the Democratic Latino Organization of Virginia, which is the state caucus for Latino engagement. And I'm also a proud Franconia Dem and FCDC Dem and a member of CD11. So this is the meeting that hits home.
Thank you so much, Carla. Tim, will you introduce yourself, please?
Hi there. My name is Tim Houston. I live in Arlington. At the moment, for the month of August, I'm in California and the Sierra Nevada. But normally I'm in Arlington, and I'm active with the Latino Caucus in Arlington and the Democratic Party there. In particular, I got a lot of experience. I've worked my whole like 50 years in Latin America in different countries in different ways. But now I've been focusing on trying to help organize Latino voters, which I did last year in or volunteers to work with Latino voters, which I did last year in North Carolina, and learned a lot of technical things about organizing volunteers for canvassing. And I'd like to help any way I can with Fairfax County. So I thought I'd try and learn as much as possible about you. That's why I reached out to Maritza. And also that's why I'm joining your meeting, just to learn as much as I can and see how I can help. And that was Jasmine's suggestion, actually. Thank you, Jasmin.
Thank you so much. Ceci, will you introduce yourself, please?
Can you hear me well?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Hi, my name is Cecilia Latorre, Ceci Latorre. Different hats, super new to this more political involvement. And I was sharing with others at the very beginning of the meeting that I just got my citizenship. So I'm really excited because I can vote. And that's something that I wanted to do for so long. I'm originally from Peru, mom of a 3-year-old, and we live here in Alexandria. And I think the topics that are kind of close to my heart in terms of policies are right now a lot of things related to immigration and how we support the different communities. And the other one is early childhood education, but there's so many things, honestly. So, and everything is interconnected. I think the key is that we can support each other. So excited to be here. Thanks, Maritza, for sending me the reminder.
Thank you so much for coming. Okay, so let's start this rolling and let's have some fun and get ready to fight. So I'm gonna
Maritza, can I make one quick comment?
Please.
Okay. We start early voting tomorrow for the 11th Congressional District. Okay, I'm going to be an election officer down in Lorton, but we've got locations all across the county. So if you live in the 11th Congressional District, please go vote, because otherwise we're going to be so bored. Okay, so come give us a few moments of relaxation by talking with you. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you for that commercial. Okay, so let's talk about our special guest tonight. Our special guest is somebody that is working as a Spanberger political director for the coalitions in Northern Virginia. She was the associate director of the White House internship program for President Biden. She was the Virginia state director for the League of United Latin American Citizens for 3 years. She was the chair of the Latino Youth Outreach in Virginia for the 2020 Biden-Harris campaign. She has won the LULAC National Woman of the Year Award in 2018, the Hispanic Executives 30 Under 30 Award in 2023, and on the 15th of September, she will be recognized at the Latino Leaders Network with the Rising Star Award as a Rising Latina change maker, demonstrating remarkable leadership, potential, and commitment to community impact. I've known Jasmin for a few years. I'm amazed of her energy and commitment. More than anything, it makes me so happy to see a young person taking control, because they are our future. Jasmin has been holding weekly meetings every Mondays, with a dozen Latino leaders around the state to organize our turnout for the election in November. So I'm very thrilled to introduce Jasmin Cruz, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Maritza. Oh my gosh, hearing all of that, thank you so much. I am so honored and so humbled to be able to do this type of work and be able to give back to my community. Just a little bit about myself. I feel like I know most of everyone in the group, but I grew up in Falls Church, Virginia, but I immigrated to the US from El Salvador when I was 5. And, I grew up in a very low income, predominantly immigrant community in Seven Corners near Coolmore, an area that's highly politicized. But growing up there, I realized, the power of the community, the power of organizers, and the work that is being done on the ground. And that's why I've always made it such an important mission of mine to give back. And it was with hosting small toy drives, hosting small clothing drives, food drives at a young age. That's what really propelled me to want to like give back, because I wanted to make sure no child went through what I went through. You know, my mom would wrap up gifts that were empty when we were little, and you know, we would go to food banks often. I wanted to make sure that children you know, have more than I did growing up. And so I still do that. I still go to Bailey's Mutual Aid every month and bring over whatever I can find from the grocery store with my husband, whether that be oil, arroz, maseca, you name it. You know, that's something that's very close to my heart. And with Virginia LULAC, they were one of the organizations we supported out them. We supported the most for a few of their different distributions. We actually provided the money up front so that they could buy what they needed for that specific month. And a lot of our fundraising efforts went towards Bailey's Mutual Aid to make sure families were fed. But you know, a lot of my work has focused around that piece, direct service. And I, you know, came across advocacy work actually because of Cindy Benavides. I was a junior in high school, and, you know, I got to go to Richmond with Bacolao. Edgar Arandayanok was my first mentor growing up, and so he introduced me into that space. And Senora Carmen, I don't know if y'all are familiar with Senora Carmen, but she was the head of Hispanics Against Child Abuse and Neglect, and she was also one of my huge mentors. May she rest in peace. You know, she was just an incredible trailblazer, and I'm proud to say that I now serve on that board of Hakan to be able to continue her legacy and the work that she was doing on the ground. But I joined the advocacy space because of LULAC. You know, that was my beginning, and so it's very, very beautiful to see that LULAC will be on that panel that where I will be getting that award, because I began with them. I began my organizing work with them, and you know, they gave me the wings to fly and the support that I needed to become the leader that I am today. And at the time, you know, Cindy was that person who introduced me to LULAC and provided me with all the resources I needed to start my collegiate council in college. And then I went on to be the deputy director with Bob Garcia. I'm sure y'all are maybe familiar with Bob. He is also one of my greatest mentors. Just an amazing human being, and has done incredible work in Arlington County. But after I became deputy, I became state director, and in those 3 years got to do incredible work in the community across the state, and making sure that our community felt, you know, heard and seen with all the work that we were doing. And our signature event actually became Viva Cultura, which is an event that we hosted at the Kennedy Center right after the pandemic, you know, came to a close. The community was still kind of scared to go out and, you know, just be around people again. And so with Viva Cultura, you know, we really opened up the space. It was outdoors in the Millennium Stage, and we were able to welcome around 1,000 just different families to listen music, watch movies, Latino films, you know, buy some artisan work. Like it was such a beautiful experience, and I'm really thankful that we had that opportunity, especially because of how things are now with the Kennedy Center. But that was like the first Latino focused event that we hosted, and from there on just continued on, just following my heart, following the work that I love to do. I worked at an immigration law firm. I feel like a lot of people don't know that, but I worked at an immigration law firm. It was really tough because it was Trump's first year in office. It was just incredibly difficult. The work itself, just I felt like every day there was like an attack on the immigrant community. And you know, I got to go to the border with them, but realized that's not exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to do more policy work. And so after leaving the immigration law firm, I ended up at AARP, surprisingly enough, doing a little bit of Latino outreach and continuing on with my legal advocacy work, making sure that our our Latino seniors knew about their public benefits opportunities, especially because a lot of them only spoke Spanish. You know, a lot of the seniors that I connected with were like, I just want to go back to El Salvador, and you know, I feel like the Social Security is nothing here. You know, they're like, this is pennies. In El Salvador, I can just retire and do my thing. And I learned so much through that experience and working with our older community, because there's so much that our community like just wants to learn more about, right? Like being able to provide those resources and talk about challenges and opportunities is what led me really to my role at Dewey Square Group, where I led the Latino portfolio for our tech clients. And then from there, joined the administration through some volunteer work that I was doing with the Biden-Harris campaign as the Latino Youth Chair. Melody Gonzalez, who is being selected to be executive director of the White House Hispanic Initiative, actually called me when I was in Puerto Rico doing work for AT&T, and she asked me like, hey, would love to have you join my team. And I will never forget that day, because that day my eyes opened up. I had never heard about what it meant to be a presidential appointee, and seeing another fellow Latina open up that path for me, it's something that I'll never forget. Melody is one of my incredible mentors now to this day. Got to work under her wing for 2 years, and then eventually, ended up at the White House in my dream role, which honestly wouldn't have been made she made it possible, to be completely honest. Like, I'm really thankful that she mentored me the way that she did, that she taught me everything that I know, that me puse las pilas, because she is the reason why I ended up at the White House, and I'm so thankful, and I hope to go back again someday. But now in this role, I'm really excited to be doing Latino outreach and working closely with Carla Bustillos on Latinos for Spanberger. There's just so much work we need to do. And after leaving the White House, I felt devastated. I felt like a part of me, something was missing from my work. I was looking for a job, but nothing really seemed like it would fulfill that desire to want to give back, especially with this new administration. And so when I saw this job open, I applied. I was like, okay, vamos a ver, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And it was meant to be. So I'm here, and I'm putting in the work, and I'm really making sure that our voices are heard in the campaign. It's tough because I am the only Latina on the leadership team, but I work every single day to make sure that our community is well represented and that our voices are being heard. And I refuse to be quiet about, all issues that pertain to our community, because, I carry a big responsibility, and I want to make sure that I'm executing in a professional and good manner with everyone that I work with. So so a lot about me. I think I just went on and on, but thank you all so much for listening to me and for being a part of this meeting. And thank you, Maritza, for inviting me. And Gil, thank you for that reminder. I'm in CD 11. I'm going to go vote.
Jasmin, thank you so much for agreeing to come to be in our meeting. I think that we're just starting to get stronger as Latinos, and we're refining our efforts to really make a change. And I think that we are going through the right path to be able to achieve that. So I'm very excited that we have our Monday meetings, and that we are getting stronger the way of what direction we're going to be going. So really, I really thankful that you invited us and make us part of that group, and now you join us today. So I want to make sure that people can ask you a question about anything. Marta, Ceci,
Maritza, maybe you and Jasmine could just spend a moment talking about the Monday meetings that Jasmine's been holding, because you're covering a whole lot of ground on those things, and it seems like there's a wide variety of people who are involved in those meetings. So maybe you could just discuss that for a few moments.
Yeah. Oh, I'm happy to talk about. So the reason why we created the Latino Outreach Advisory Committee was to essentially get support from all 17 Latino elected officials, all chairs of Latino caucuses, any Latinos involved with the Democratic Committee leadership, and previous Latino liaisons for previous campaigns and gubernatorial campaigns. And so and also we have campaign staff on there. And so those meetings, typically, we have around 20 people who attend each time, but those are the different folks that represent that space. And those are really important because we really discuss everything that's happening on the campaign. What are we doing in regards to Latino outreach? We also let Carla, who is our chair of Latinos for Spanberger, talk about the work that D-Love is doing, because they have that outreach across the state. They have their regional reps in Hampton Roads, in Virginia Beach, in Richmond, everywhere essentially. And so she gives us updates about what work they're doing and what listening sessions they're hosting. But then also, what we also provide is that space to be able to give, you know, hey, like this event is happening, right? A space to really talk about what events are happening in the community, what festivals are happening, so that the campaign can plug into them, right? Like typically, I've been a part of like this is my third campaign, and typically when we have these meetings, when we are a part of these committees, we get a lot of work. It's a heavy lift, and I tell our committee, I don't want this to be a heavy lift. I don't want to put you all in different committees. I don't want someone to be on a fundraising committee and someone on the youth committee. Like I want everyone to be able to like have a say in what we do and not have to have such a heavy load attached to it, right? Because, you know, we're all volunteers, we all want to help out. And the best way to support us is by telling us, yes, I'm available for the Latin Jazz Festival in Richmond this Saturday, and we can table and we can support the campaign staff who will be there. That's an example that's actually happening. On Saturday, we have the Latin Jazz Festival in Richmond, and Delegate Alfonso Lopez will be serving as a surrogate for the campaign. But so that's why those meetings are so critical, because we discuss those opportunities and we discuss, okay, like, can we get a table there? Who do we need to talk to? And we also provide those, like, essentially those talking points to be able to have surrogates like Delegate Alfonso Lopez and other members of the Latino caucus be able to represent the campaign. And so that's like the high level overview of the committee. But, you know, the committee really much, we give them as much work as they'd like to have. We don't want to like bombard them with work. I feel like typically, you know, like I mentioned before, they're bombarded with work. They have to join a youth committee or a Latino women committee. But no, like I want to make sure everyone is on the same playing field and everyone is giving, you know, their feedback on what they're seeing. You know, we have a lot of electeds who knock on doors. They give us, you know, advice on like what they're seeing on the ground. They give us suggestions, and that's ultimately what's the most beneficial ever. And so we're very strategic about who we invite to those.
Thank you so much. Does anybody has a question?
Yeah,
for
what
Jasmin?
time are those meetings?
They are Mondays at 7 p.m. And you're welcome to join them as long as it's okay with Maritza, because she is your Latino caucus chair. Just want to point that out there.
So we typically work as a team with Marta and Lionel, because we put our ideas together and we send it to the bulletin, and then we just explore. So we usually attend all the meetings together. Whatever it's a meeting, we all go and we all try to put it. So let's add you to the list, Marta and Lionel.
Yes, great.
And I talked a little bit with Carla before we start the meeting, and she has a very good idea that she wants to share with us. You want to do that, Carla?
Thank you. I first of all want to salute Jasmin, because when we were pushing the campaign and everyone here engaged with the campaign early on, and we hit them from every angle to make a good hire, they definitely exceeded our expectations with you, Jasmin. Very proud to see you in this capacity. We know that someone that has reached national levels. It really shows your humble and caring spirit that you're coming back home to make sure que poder proteger la casita, making sure that our Commonwealth is okay, and putting all your energy, but your professionalism and that temperament that you have. I can never say enough about it, because you're someone that people enjoy working with, because you're a listener, but when you speak, you're on point and you bring great ideas to the table. Thank you so much, Jasmin. Thank you so much for bringing me on board. I want to welcome Tim and Ceci to the meetings. I know Tim and I have been missing each other. I was in Florida all of the summer. Tim, I'm happy that I'm back and that I'll be able to engage you on what you've learned on the ground and with Arlington, and see how we can plug that in statewide as well. Jill, Maritza, Marta, and Lionel, thank you so much. I mean, there's a reason why the bulletin keeps being highlighted and shared all through the state. It's so complete, it's so robust, done with so nicely. And Lionel and Marta, Franconia Dams always exceeding any other Dem group and Dem committee in your reach and your creativity. So very happy to be on this call. My invitation is for everyone to join efforts and for us to kill like 7 birds with 1 stone. I am turning 40 something next September 4th. Ya después de los 45, I don't count the something. I just do 40 plus. And I've offered the Spanberger Franconia field director a Canvas Lounge from my house, but I asked them if it could be Latino focus because we need to do more to explore engagement in the Franconia area. I know Jill and Maritza are pioneers in going everywhere in this area to get people to sign up to vote. Marta and Lionel are very respected in the Franconia Dem. So anything that I can do to protect my immediate community, I'm here. So I'm making my house and my birthday the focus of this canvas. I wanted to be under the Latinos for Spanberger umbrella. I wanted to be targeting CD11 during the Get Out the Vote. So we push for that, and we have our people informed as to who their candidate for Congress is and who would be representing them in Congress. And of course, it would be under the D-Love and Maritza permitting Fairfax FCDC Latino Caucus. Maritza and I chaired D-Love's Northern Virginia region together. So we go way back and working together. So I knew that once I pitched this idea, she would like it. I wanted to highlight Hispanic Heritage Month Madness as we started off. What I love about Hispanic Heritage Month, they thought they were sticking it to us by giving us this weird dates. And what we've done as Latinos is, expand to the beginning of September all the way to the end of October. So that would be an unofficial kickoff. We also have the local caucuses, local Latino caucuses for the different Democratic committees are planning, led by the Arlington caucus, but they're planning for all of us to come together and share bread with no fundraising incentive, really just break bread and talk about our different experiences, organizing and getting to know each other. So it'll be Prince Williams County Latino, Arlington Latino Caucus, FCDC Latino Caucus, all coming together. And that's led by Tania Talento. I also wanted to highlight that D-Love, which is your state caucus, is in charge of the welcome reception for the next party meeting, which is Q3 meeting. And this I've been pushing for intentionally, and I hope that people can be mindful of trying to make it to the meeting for Central Committee and making it to the welcome reception. So we show the state Democrats that were here, that were active. I also want to offer the chairs of every local caucus to go to steering with me that meeting. So I can show that it's not me reporting this, there's a lot of human spirit behind Latino Democrats. The other is CD11 is hosting on the 21st Hispanic Heritage Month celebration. And we're honoring Erika Jalowitz, a CD11 resident. I know. The great thing about me being the pioneer of this event is that I get to offer names for the awardees. And so, yeah, I love it because I always get to throw 4 names out there. And it's an exercise that reminds me how much talent we have in our community. So I proposed 2 strong females, 2 strong males, and they picked Erika Jalowitz. I think it's a great choice. So we'll be honoring her, CD11 on the 21st, and everyone's welcome to come. And we're also going to have Monica Sarmiento speak to CD11 that, the demographics there on that committee is not as diverse as we push for it to be. So we think it's important for the keynote speaker to be someone versed in immigration law. So Monica Sarmiento, our strongest advocate statewide in immigration, is going to be our guest speaker. So that's that, friends. Those are all my updates for now because I'm fully behind Jasmin with Latinos for Spanberger. Oh, no, D-Love endorsements. Our questionnaire is out there. our questionnaire is out there, and we already have about 15 submissions that we've gone. So we've gotten requests for 15 candidates. We are pushing hard and making all Latino Legislative Caucus members our priority. And also House members and any candidates in areas that are predominantly Latino or that have strong Latino populations. Our questionnaire was the product of the work of local caucuses and all the different roundtables we held together, not only in Northern Virginia, but also in Richmond and in Hampton Roads. All that feedback was put together in the questionnaire in the form of questions that would help the candidates think their policies and shape their policies in a way that benefit the Latino community. I don't want to extend myself, but I think it's important for accountability purposes that I also let you know what your state caucus is doing. And feel free to share. It's on our website. Share the questionnaire. It's on our social media as well. And also know that we'll kick off the endorsement with Hispanic Heritage. So if you don't see it being published yet, is that we want to make big noise once we have it. Looking for ways, as you know, Leonel, everyone here has been a financial contributor to the state caucus as well, but resources are limited. So I'm thinking of, I had a meeting today, and this is pure, not TMI, but to let you know the work that we do. I had a meeting today with a local radio media company. So because I don't have money to send to every endorsed candidate, what I want to do is buy airtime to highlight our endorsed candidates and to highlight D-Love and its endorsement process and where Democrats stand with Latino priorities, which are the economy, housing, jobs, healthcare, and immigration and education. So that's how I'm going to package it. That it's, sabes que los Latinos somos creativos, so we make our money go far. And I think that's the furthest it's going to go. They're going to do a market study for us to see who are the harder to reach voters and making sure that those ads get to those voters. Entonces, en vez de yo ir a hacerle canvas here and there when I don't have the resources to canvas for all my elected officials, I'll just make sure that they know that my endorsement goes along with D-Love pitching their candidacies to hard to reach voters and disengaged voters. Bueno, ahí está.
Muchas gracias, Carla. Muy buena información. Very interesting and informative. And thank you so much. And let's keep the news rolling. I want to introduce Terracia. She's visiting with us today. Terracia, are you available to just introduce yourself?
Yes, ma'am. This is Tarazia Martin, and I am honored to work with Jasmin and, of course, our illustrious Carla on the beautiful things that are happening with D-Love and with, of course, supporting the Spanberger campaign as well. I am the acting, what do I call it? The Latino caucus lead for Prince William while we work on elections. But I just want to say thank you, Marissa, for always inviting me. This is always a joy to me. And I also just want to say that this endorsement process that Carla just went through, this is the most robust. I've been in politics in and out for a number of years, but the process that we have put in place with Carla's leadership and with the team it is tremendous when you think about the depth of what we're doing to get these candidates to understand the importance of what matters to Latino voters. And I think if you haven't had a chance to look at the questionnaire or to really understand the process and how we're communicating it outward, it is game changing. Other caucuses will look at this and go, wow, how do we do that? You know, they'll see it as an aspiration for themselves. So I really would like to ask that you take the time to read it, understand it, and spread it to the masses, because it is really going to be impactful for our community overall for years to come. Carla, is that, did I say that right? Because I am really 100,000% behind what we're doing here. It's really game changing to me.
Well, no, yeah, of course it took, 10 meetings of a couple of
Yes.
hours or more each, but it's really taking those listening sessions under consideration that all of you put together and invested. So I just want you to see how the days of us acting separately are over. The work and the resistance is local to state to national. I really see it that way strongly. I'm passionate about it. If you don't see me everywhere that you are, is because I'm feeling this space right now. And you guys have it. And this needs to be done, but we're doing it in partnership and with great value that you added to it. Just want to know where those first meetings went, and this they went to. I also want to highlight something. The person that advised us and the importance of our mingling events as well. We had a very nice Cinco de Mayo, just social feel good event, right? With love and the local caucuses, and all of you went. A lot of you went. Ceci, I didn't get to meet you there, but hopefully I will meet you in the future. And one person came up to me and said, you know, I was a political advisor and governance advisor in California. Sort of what Tim is offering as well. You know, it's inviting folks to join us, be open to folks using their expertise and finding a space in D-Love for them to channel their expertise. And that is how we met Raquel Cemental. She's a Braddock Dem. The Braddock Dem meeting structure was not appealing to her, but this D-Love, Cinco de Mayo, Margarita's Day, she saw what we were doing. She saw how genuine we were about making sure we echo the priorities of the Latino community in the Democratic Party, and joined and has offered us, I think, a service that I can't even imagine how much it would cost. And she has volunteered her time and her expertise. And when you see how she was able to guide us through it, occasionally very frustrated at me and others, because we were not understanding how to make this protocol happen. I am so glad we trusted her to guide us. And I'm looking forward to whatever expertise others can bring into D-Love, to feel free to reach out and just present it to us, because we'll take it.
Thank you, Carla. I think Leonel has a question, Leonel, and then Ceci.
Okay. Well, I appreciate the explanations, especially from Jasmin regarding the outreach efforts that the campaign is doing. And I think that the outreach efforts will be easier for us who are plan to do canvassing, for example. If you can point to a place where we can find a statement or a platform specifically oriented or geared toward Latinos.
Thank you, Leonel. Ceci?
So it took me a minute to find my unmute. Well, no, I'm really excited to be in this first meeting with all of you. This is and all the opportunities that you are sharing. Just Jasmin, your story, like, and how you are the voice for others who don't have voice now, or encourage others. Same with Carla, same with everyone here. So feel like I'm with my tribe, like with my people, because that's, especially with this times, yeah, you need to hold in community and to keep doing the, how do you call it, the good trouble. So my specific question is, you mentioned, Jasmin, and Carla, you mentioned different events coming up. Where can we like kind of sign up in, because I signed up for like the volunteers for Spanberger, or I see canvassing and all that. But for instance, I have done before for environmental, volunteering for environmental organizations, like tabling, you know, and honestly, I really enjoy that, and like chatting with people and like engaging that. So please, like, use me for that. But I would like to know, because I need to plan ahead, since I have, you know, a toddler and all that. So we need to do our arrangements here at home to do that. But yeah, I would like to know where can I have that list, and specifically because sometimes I already signed for, I think it's Activate, but especially for the Latino, if you have like a list of things that are specific, because sometimes you have to sort through a bunch of things, and it's like, okay, where can my gifts can support better, you know? So,
Yeah.
Yeah, something to be in a close communication. I'm sorry if I interrupt you, Jasmine. We're gonna be in a lot of communications. I think Gil gonna put the link for the bulletin so you can sign for our mailing list, and then you're gonna see the things that are happening. Plus, we wanna have direct communication with you now that you start joining our meetings, because we have a lot of big opportunities to get involved with, and you're gonna love it. Even with your baby, you're gonna be able to be very active and be part of the change.
I can bring him. He has come to like the fairs with my husband. They are there checking things out, and then I'm tabling. This is like
we will teach you about canvassing and about how to be a host and how to have a house party, everything that you need to know to be involved. And Jasmine,
yeah, we need to like meet after like in person and all that. I'm excited. Yeah.
Jasmine, were you gonna say something and I interrupted?
Oh, yeah, no, I was gonna tell Cecilia, we have plenty of events that we need support with tabling, so please email me and we'll send those over. Maritza also, the list of, I made a list of resources that I'm actually gonna probably just bump it up for you and Carla. If you wanna share that with like your membership here, and then also Carla with your D-Love membership, like that has like all the links that are really important. And then also it includes like all the events that we're gonna have a presence at. So like, you know, we're looking for supporters to come and table at the Manassas Park Latino Fest in early September. And then in late September, there's a Latino Festival in Manassas as well. So plenty of opportunities to plug in, and I'm sure there will be more that pop in that we find out about later. So I'm gonna send that to you, Maritza, and you can like share it with the group.
Excellent. Sorry, Jasmine, really quick. And Carla, you mentioned this about kind of like the 6 main issues for the Latinos. Is there like something that summarizes that with talking points, or so we have that for, because I've seen the website for Spanberger, but it's more general, it's not specific. So
yeah. So Jasmine's gonna be in charge. So Jasmine is already filling out the D-Love questionnaire tailored to statewide candidates. And she will be providing us additional talking points, which is amazing, in Spanish, so that we can be highly informed when we're engaging with our community as to where she stands with the issues. And our questionnaire was issues based. So what we're going to use is those responses. We've been clear and transparent, will be used to create social media campaigns and talking points, so that we're going to make it available to our membership. I'm going to send you, Ceci, as well, the information to D-Love and social media for D-Love, which is a state caucus. And I'm guessing the Fairfax bulletin is great, but Jasmine, I guess I can also just create a tree link that I host on D-Love's or the website. We say events. We can probably have all events listed on our website. I'm trying to think of, as Ceci says, if she has free and she wants to jump in and see what's focused for Latinos, I'm guessing that would be the way of centralizing statewide.
I think that would be awesome, Carla, because we have so many and we're always looking for volunteers. So I would 100% welcome that. I was also going to say something else, but then I forgot. I lost my train of thought.
We can also add you to the WhatsApp groups and the different communication channels, and we've got our websites, and then also become part of our social media list. So we can include all those things, Carla, as well, as part of communication. And I know Maritza's already doing that. So Maritza, I love your hair. You look so darn cute. OMG, you look adorable.
And Maritza, just so you know, Tarasia shares your bulletin like there's no tomorrow. Every WhatsApp group has your bulletin because of Tarasia.
We always have our door open for people to help us have the bulletin more robust or complete, or somebody that wants to do the, what do you call it, Gil? The
editorials.
Editorial, because there's so many stories to tell, and we are always looking, searching, hunting to make the best news for people to be interested in, and and related to or be part of it or just participate. And
we got more responses, literally dozens of responses from the editorial about meet the judges who weren't judges in courtrooms who aren't courtrooms, because nobody realized that immigration attorneys were actually part of the Justice Department. They were not part of the judicial branch of the government.
okay.
Oh, I was also gonna mention, sorry, real quick. Maritza would love to have, and if folks just also just want to email me directly, that's fine too. We're gonna have our newsletter launched on Tuesday for Latinos for Spanberger, and that's gonna include more activations beyond the organizing piece. About like upcoming festivals and for Hispanic Heritage Month, actually, we want to highlight Latino elected officials who, you know, like we're gonna do it based off of like who was elected first and second and all that kind of stuff. But I want to make sure everyone in this group has that. So if Maritza, if you want to add them to my listserv, I can share that with you. Right now I have around 200 names and emails, but I'm also happy to add everyone individually, whatever works. But I want to make sure everyone in this group gets the newsletter on Tuesday. That will include bilingual talking points.
That's wonderful. I don't, we're getting very close to the closing time, but I don't want to miss the opportunity to give the mic to Tim, so Tim can be part of the group, join us, and feel like he had a good team around him to be able to start working on. So Tim, please get the mic.
Sure. What would you like me to, what do you have a suggestion on what?
Well,
where you'd like me to go?
you are in Arlington. That
Mhm.
doesn't matter because this is Latinos that
Right.
really want to impact not only the community, but everybody that is working in the campaign right now. They want to hear their voices, right? So we're going to be working together. You can join our bulletin. You can be part of it. You can tell us your ideas, and there's always going to be a work for us to work together.
Right.
I have this big idea that I've been just like working on because we always struggle to canvassing under Corridor 1 where all the Latino communities are. But this is the thing. Rising Hope is a mission church that has a market on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. If we go there and we ask them to let us have a table outside Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from 1:15 to 4:30, every one of those days, they serve around 100 and 120 families that they come and get food. So those Latinos coming in the pantry, you know, just to get food, and because it's by appointment only, very few people are coming waiting for the turn. If we can have a table there with information, with immigration information, with voter registration information, where to vote, how to teach somebody to vote for the first time, any information that we can provide to the Latino community, because most of it are Latinos and they are exactly from that zip code that we want to go canvassing, we will be able to reach a lot of people in a 3 hours, 2 hours time.
¿Qué días, Maritza?
Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. So we can organize to make sure that we have somebody in a table there, right? We just have to ask permission to let us be there, which they will, because inside we always had like the information for the legal women voters to vote and how to register people to vote. So they will let us have a table outside, right in the parking lot, and people having Latinos there talking about information, how to vote, how to teach somebody how to vote for the first time, how to know about the elections, how we vote every year in Virginia, information about the elections and the campaign. And we will be very successful canvassing in one table, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays for 2 hours, that going and knocking doors for a long time, probably, you know? So I think that's a great idea. I've been carrying this on my shoulders, and now is the time where we can do that, especially now that the kids are going back to school. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from 1:15 to 4:30. we will be doing a lot of good there, have a lot of information in our table. So let's plan about having a meeting or talk about it on the next meeting on Monday, Jasmin, and see how we can get the volunteers, putting materials together, and I can talk to them, make sure that I get the permit for doing that. And all we need is like a very few people available to start going, and then we will see what else we need to change to be able to be successful. And I'm telling you, if there's like 100, 120 people, sometimes they come in one day just to pick food, and those 2 hours and a half, we will be able to reach a lot of people.
Maritza, since you asked, I'll try, and I think we're almost out of time. I'll try and say summarize everything in 60 seconds, which is basically in the experience that we had in North Carolina last year. We learned a lot about how to be effective in canvassing to Latinos, and I've reproduced some of that here in Arlington by practicing canvassing. And so there's kind of 3 lessons we learned. Some of this is going to be obvious to some of you, and some of it's not so obvious. But the first we discovered is by experience, by canvassing. And this is mostly about canvassing. It's not about so much outreach. It's more about canvassing to voters like we always do with minivan and things. We found that if we canvassed with Spanish-speaking canvassers, whether they're Latino or not, I'm not, but I'm Spanish-speaking, and you're canvassing to Spanish-speaking voters, that the conversations were much more productive and much richer because the voters don't know as much, and because they're very open if you're speaking Spanish to them. So first, that's effective. Second, we found that in the process of building the data, the turfs that people would go to, and I can talk more with Leonel or whoever else about this, we discovered that we could customize the turfs to be only Latino voters. And I've done that in Arlington as well to confirm that it works in Virginia. But we found that we could make turfs so we had Spanish-speaking volunteers going to Latino voters, and 80, 90% of them were Spanish-speaking and would talk with us in Spanish. And third, we found you really have to get really organized for your volunteers that speak Spanish. You can use and you have to work with a coordinated campaign. So being organized with them. So I've reached out and talked. I know the coordinated campaign in Arlington, but I'd like to do the same in Fairfax. And Tracia, we can talk. I'd love to talk with you later about Prince William County. But so that's basically conversations are effective, but you need to be organized, and you need to understand how to work in Vote Builder to make this work. And then we found that it was really powerful. So I just love to help you guys if that can fit into your models.
That's wonderful, team. I think we're gonna start like a really get our engines together to just right. Thank you so much, team.
Thank you.
I'm gonna continue the agenda because it's almost time for closing, and I just wanna see if we have any old business, new business to share. Lionel, Marta, anybody? Everything okay? Any announcements? Well, pretty much we said everything that is coming about the bulletin, about our meetings on Mondays, and in the bulletin we have a lot of events that are happening now in September. And now when we receive the new letter from you, Jasmin, we're going to be able to incorporate all the events together, and people are going to be able to see and ask how they can join and be a volunteer. So I've been talking. Anybody else, any announcements? Okay, well, thank you so much, everybody, for coming. I really appreciate that you take the time to come. I think this was a very productive meeting. I'm so excited to have you, Ceci, back. Congratulations on becoming a citizen. What an achievement. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Terracia. Thank you, the team. Jasmin, it's been an honor, working with you. And Carla, thank you for having everything ready and organized to make sure that we're up and running. And let's keep working, everybody, and let's have a good campaign. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Mari,
Cecilia.
tienes
¿Cuándo?
2 minutos. Quería preguntarte. Sí, dígame, Marta.
No, una pregunta de que si ya te inscribiste para votar.
Sí, no, es que cuando fui a mi ceremonia estaban Women's Culture Leagues, pero yo ya quería, pues no, y yo dije, chévere, bacán, acá ya.
Perfecto, no, eso es lo que quería estar segura.
Gracias, Marta.
Felicitaciones, Cecilia.
Felicitaciones.
Muchas
Wow.
gracias, sí, Carla. Sí, Mari, yo te quería preguntar, porque justo lo que has contado para el pantry, ¿dónde era que mencionabas?
Mira, es una cuadra después o antes del South County Building, de Jerry Highland Building, on Route 1, enfrente era el Old Mount Vernon High School, crossing the street,
Ya.
crossing the street for Aldi's. It's called Rising Hope, and it has like
Ajá.
a mural with a phoenix.
Oh, claro, no, yo he escuchado de ellos a través de mi iglesia, ya. Sí.
Sí,
Eh,
entonces ellos tienen un pantry martes, miércoles y jueves y empiezan de 1:30 a 4:30. Son,
mira, yo,
son 3 horas, pero nadie puede ir si no tienen un appointment. Y todas las personas
mm,
van llegando una por una a
ujú,
estar
ujú,
esperando que ya les toque su turno para entrar, porque de esa manera ICE no puede entrar a un edificio público porque lo hicimos
claro.
privado por medio de citas para proteger a la comunidad.
Mira, tú avísame cuando ya se confirme que se puede hacer, porque yo ya ahí me anoto, porque además me cae así como anillo al dedo, porque yo trabajo hasta la 1, trabajo part-time, y después tengo que recoger a mi hijo como, like, a las 5 de daycare, entonces ahí me da chance tú, solo que tuviera, como te decía, los talking points, como que los repaso, pero...
Sí, pero no
Eh,
estaría sola, no te preocupes, es cuestión de organizarnos y ver qué material vamos a poner para
sí,
asegurar que podemos informar a la comunidad y que ellos tienen
sí,
una manera de contactarnos para más información.
exacto. No, está súper bacán. Me voy a organizar. También me voy a coordinar aquí en la casa, como te digo, porque tenemos que ver con mi esposo para ver cómo hacemos con el chiqui. Pero chévere, no, bacán. Y ya te voy diciendo también en mis tiempos y todo eso, pero sí quiero, no quiero. O sea, yo ya sigo a Carla en Instagram, paro poniendo cosas así I'm sorry, I'm excited. Estoy así como que, pero,
Qué
porque
gusto que pudiste venir, la verdad. Sí,
sí, gracias.
vamos a
Oye, porque
platicar, puedes platicar con Marta, con Jill, conmigo, con Tim, con Jasmin, con quien tú quieras.
sí,
Y
y,
tenemos pequeños grupos de WhatsApp donde nos estamos
ujú,
mandando información y estamos alertas de lo que está sucediendo y tú puedes ser parte de ese grupo para estar escuchando lo que está
sí,
pasando.
porfa, si te puedes unir. Te ponía también una idea, no sé si ya han visto que hay tarjetas que dicen qué hacer si ICE viene. Están gratis en las bibliotecas. Por ejemplo, a las personas que vienen a limpiar la casa y a amigos que conozco les he dado así como toma.
Sí,
¿No? O incluso información de servicios legales, etcétera. Pero nada, yo te escribo y para coordinarnos y conversar un poquito más y también para conversar en general, ¿no?
claro que sí. Ahorita estoy en México, pero de todas maneras sigo
Rico.
pendiente y sigo al tanto de lo que se necesita. ¿Sí?
Sí, ahí todo
Me
unido.
voy a
No, pero
perder algunos eventos, pero de todas maneras voy a estar al pendiente y voy a estar movilizando gente.
sí, no, ahí estamos todos, poco a poco.
Sí, y tú estás ahí en California, nuestra mera mata. We moved from California to Virginia, in Peak, California. We used to go
Es-
to Mammoth to ski,
Ah,
and we
sí.
used to go to Yosemite, and we
Ujú.
go Los
ah,
Padres, everywhere, right, Gil?
Sí. No estoy muy distante de Mammoth.
Sí, no,
Bueno,
I know.
sí,
I,
sí.
I know.
Está en la Sierra Nevada, entonces estoy.
Beautiful. This time of the year is
Sí,
beautiful.
sí.
We used to
Listo,
ski.
súper.
How long you
Bueno,
gonna be there?
¿qué les iba a decir? Muchas gracias, de verdad, Mari, por mandarme ese mensajito bien así preciso para estos tiempos.
Gracias por venir y
Y
qué gusto que nos acompañaste hoy y vas a ver, vas a ser toda una experta al final de la campaña. Ya vas a estar, pero bien lista.
sí, y como
Ok,
dice, hay que usar, todos tienen sus superpoderes y todos tienen una historia, so let's use that. Pretty good.
Maritza, you need to formally adjourn the meeting.
sí, sí.
Oh, sorry.
Right.
Thank you very
I
much
keep
for
just chatting.
coming. I'm adjourning the meeting. If you want to stay for the happy hour to meet Joy, talk to Gil, you're welcome to stay.
Oh.
Unfortunately, I have to take my mom to the doctor and they're waiting for me, so I gotta go.
Okay.
And thank you for coming.